Nice to see you all here today, and I hope there will be more of us. As usually, hello, Charita. So nice to see you.
Hello.
I will switch the camera off because we will start
Okay.
now. So see you later then. And I think the topic will be interesting because we never spoke about it. I'm all the time checking the list and it's quite interesting because it's here. So it's 12. I will start. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the next Power of Touch, in which together with my friends from all around the globe, with my family members, we can say, we are riding to the future on a back of language. And we do it today taking one simple word and trying to look at it from different perspectives. The word today is feeling, something which is so present every day with us. And let's start. Let's start. And I will start today with you, Charito. Charito, if you close your eyes and you hear the term feeling, what came first to your mind, please?
Oh, can you hear me,
Yes,
Michael?
yes, I can hear you well.
Okay. Feeling. I I would like to say good afternoon first to Leslie, Tracy, Shah, Jana, and of course you, Jackie Michael. Nice being here again. Feeling. uh, it's something. Well, if you look at the dictionary, uh, you can see that it's sort of something emotional. It's something coming from the inside. It's an emotional reaction, but actually, it is something that you feel like it's a gamut of different emotions. It's like you feel either positive or negative, euphoric, sad, and happy, and all that. So it's actually a feeling which is not permanent, but it always comes back at a given moment, whatever induces or the reason for that emotions. And it's you can. There are two things here. One that is that it's a feeling of belief, and the other one is that it's something foreboding, or you cannot directly tell about it. It's like a sixth sense. Going back to you, Michael. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much,
Hello,
Charito,
Dr. Ash.
for the introduction. And I will switch to Tracy. Tracy, if you close your eyes, what came to you first when you hear the term feeling?
Feeling to me is intangible, ever changing, and is hard to articulate. It's more like a butterfly. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Leslie, you are the next one. So, what do you feel or see?
Well, with the word feeling, there is a vast distinction between emotions and feelings. They aren't the same. Feelings are, as Chirito pointed out, and I think you were getting there, Chirito, feelings are from your higher side, their intuition, uh, the bringing up visuals of what it is you want that feels good. Emotions are not thinking, they are reactions and primarily negative and a low vibration, making us feel it not so good. It is the age old devil and angel. Only one in any moment will preside, and whichever we focus on the most, what we're thinking about will cause our bring up an image and will cause a feeling. It will either be positive or negative. The negative is an emotion. Feelings are sensitive, they're a knowing, a sensing, but emotions are reactions from not thinking They're triggers and they come from real fearful experiences and generally are stronger than feelings. So, those of us who aspire toward faithful and positive thinking in our higher side actually live a happier life than those who allow the emotions of past fears and traumas to dominate our thoughts. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting. Miriana, what about you? If you hear the term feeling, what came first to your mind, please?
Good afternoon, everybody. For me, feeling is emotional state, sensation, or intuition. It depends on the circumstances. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it is interesting that you mentioned intuition because Tracy mentioned butterfly. And in Germany, in German language, if you have the feelings, you say you have butterflies in your abdomen. So it's quite interesting how connected it is. Shami, you are the next.
Sorry, we say the same. Feeling in stomach.
Yeah, exactly. You name it correctly. Thank you, Mariana. Shami, you are the next one. So if you hear the term feeling, what came to your mind first?
Thank you, Michael. Have you heard me?
Yes, we can hear you.
If your question is feelings, feelings is the soul of purpose. It transforms action into meaning and connection into impact. I think feelings is bridge between emotion.
Shami, thank you. Unfortunately, the connection is not very good, so we cannot hear the full sentences. So if you will try to get better connection, or for the next question, I mean, you can do it. Dr. Ash, the same question for you, of course. So if you hear the term feeling, what came first to your mind?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Michael. It's good to be back on the feeling of peace, should I say, in our country, which was at war last week. So the word feeling is very important right now in the sense that it's a multifaceted word that encompasses both physical and subjective emotional experiences, like what I've just mentioned about what happened last week. Different feelings are actually stimulated by our senses. It could actually also be the sense of touch, temperature, anything that gives us information about our physical environment and bodily states. Now, having said that, I would say that the physical feeling actually gives us a conscious awareness of our emotions, which can range from joy and sadness to anger and fear. These internal experiences shape our perceptions as to what may happen. It influences our behavior and contributes tremendously to our overall well-being. So therefore, it's very important to understand and articulate our feelings, which are crucial for self-awareness, healthy relationships, and navigating the complexities of any human experiences that we may encounter. So that is what I actually believe in carrying out the study of feelings, which intersects with philosophy that I study all the time. And of course, psychology and neuroscience, which actually, should I say, revolves around our lives, whether we know it or not, because the feelings of terror struck us last week, as I mentioned, of war and the sound of explosions going off, and then what was to come. The new sensation of feelings are so weird that I cannot really describe as to what all we went through. And then the backdoor diplomacies that we initiated through think tanks that I chair, how things were managed, how the war was stopped with a push through by this country's missiles and I don't know, the cyber war, should we say, also put together. And then the feelings that we had of complete peace suddenly. But it's an uneasy peace. And let's hope that those feelings of comfort finally come back to us all. Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ish. Charito, will you agree that feelings are the first language we learn when we are born?
Wow, so deep. When we are born, we don't know anything. But it's a gut feel. I think it's maybe probably, but I can say in all, it's not for me to say, but I think it's a feeling between mothers and kids. That's the first feeling, if we call it feeling. But does it matter? Really matter in its context? I think it matters to the mother. Also, the kid, when we are born, they will cry outside, but when they're put beside their mothers, they keep silent. They feel peace, love, and secure. It's like coming from the inside the womb. Yes, I think so now. I haven't given it much thought. I'm quite, shocked with your question. I hope I have given you a little of what I think. Yes. The first feeling is that we feel as a just somebody, even inside the womb. Probably when we have the heart, we have a complete system inside us. The first trimester. I think that's where the feeling started. I don't know. That's my own opinion. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Charito. All of these, what we say, the answers, all are our opinions. And this is why it is so valuable, because we are so different and same at the same time. Tracy, do you think that the feelings are not just a human being, but it's for everyone? I have read your comment. So do you think that feelings are not only part of a human society, but it is more present?
I believe if there's a reaction, there's a feeling. It doesn't matter that's an animal or a plant. As long as it's a living thing, is able to react to certain things, then there must be some kind of feeling there. Same as the sense, the sense of touch. We have 5 or 6 senses, depending how you define it. And there's a feeling attached to those senses. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Leslie, is it attached mainly to the senses? Because you said that it's generally much wider. So how we will say the share of feeling connected to senses is, for example, 50% of the feeling?
So will you ask me another way, please?
My question is, if we, let's say, take two categories of feeling. One is the feeling which we can feel through senses, and the second is feeling, let's say, the feeling which came from somewhere else. We don't know how, but we feel differently. And the question is, in our human life, if the feelings which came through senses are more frequent than the feelings which came, let's call it, from outside.
Ooh, what a good. That's a really good question. So, in order to recognize the distinction between feelings and emotions, you have to have conscious awareness. The information comes to us through our five senses, into the conscious mind, if you will. Whatever thoughts we think pervasively, because thinking is a cellular activity. Mind is a cellular activity. So, what we're thinking about, positive or negative, is going to affect how our entire body feels and the actions we take. In fact, those three things make up attitude. Now, the pervasive feelings that we repeat in spaced intervals over time embed and immerse into the subconscious where we have perfect faith. But it isn't thinking, it's reacting. It's emotional reaction, and it's primarily based on our fears. So we get both kinds of information in through our five senses, positive and negative. And it is the work that we do that has us begin to see this and choose what we are thinking dominantly rather than reacting. And I do want to say something about the baby and what Tracy said too. You know, it's really more than feeling here, it's the vibration. Because plants don't have conscious awareness, they don't have a conscious and subconscious mind. But the vibration, everything is moving. Those are instinctive reactions. And I think, from what I understand, that the baby has no conscious or subconscious mind. Therefore, it can't have anything negative, right? Unless it is passed on from the mother through repetition. So, in a perfect world, a baby would arrive at age 6 or 7, where the age of reason begins, where they would only have experienced positive things. But you know that's not how it works. So we have the choice, and that's where we're headed. We're headed to recognize the distinctions in these things. That's why I distinguish between feelings and emotions. We all have them both, but one isn't thinking, one is reaction, the other is responding. One is emotional response or reactions, and one is a sensing or a feeling which comes from intuition, which is our connection to the universe. So as we think these things and they have a high vibration, such as a plant or even a baby, the message that's sent out to the universe, which retrieves back to us exactly the same vibration at the same velocity, is sent to our co creator, the universe. And that's how we communicate with God. So, this work about looking deeply into words like this, that is a data mining, right? Data mining a word. And so I hope today that what little I know has expanded what you're thinking about this word. And it is amazing to me that one word can have such an impact on all of us. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Leslie. You know, just before we started, I was listening to the conversation between Elon Musk and Saudi Arabia and whoever on a stage. He is right now with Donald Trump in Saudi Arabia. And he spoke about his robots. And one of the sentences which let's say, connects me to this conversation was, there will be time when there will be billions of robots and there will be in every family. And my question to you, Mariana, do you think a robot feels? I mean, in the sense which was here described.
A robot cannot have a sense. It's a simulation for humans that it is a sense. It's how we approach it. It's not a real, but we accept it after some time as it is real. Our imagination. If you repeat something too much times, you believe in it, even it's not truth. That is what stands behind. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Shami, it's not so long time ago when in Bangladesh the students get to the streets and generally the government ended. Which role play the feelings during this movement?
Bangladesh a long time to try to reform as feelings of reconstruction our country and our behaviors and loving Bangladesh, the gate of feelings, it is not a emotion, Michael. Feelings is not only emotion, it is bridge between emotion and impact. And government try to reform and people will impact. And that's why sense the need of others, empathy, stay aligned with our values, integrity, create meaningful human connection, connection. And government try to do their best, but it needs more and time. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Dr. Ash, we spoke here about the positive and negative feelings. And if you look around, you spoke about the last year war and the real threat, which was not just, sorry to say, just in a matter of the guns in the hands of the people, but everybody knows that Pakistan, so as India, have nuclear weapons. So the word resonates much stronger. And my question is, why do you think that the media and the governments use mainly fear as the feeling to, let's call it, to manage the countries or nations?
Good question, Michael. I believe they bring about a sensation of fear through propaganda. And I believe it was more of a propaganda war from the other side. And for 2 days, or was it 3 days? In fact, it was until the third morning that we had these missiles and drones coming in. The missiles managed to get in, but the drones, of course, were shot down, all of them. And we apparently shot down 6, or initially they said 5 jet aircraft of the enemy. So you can imagine our feelings and our thought processes here in Pakistan, which I thought was the safest country to settle in. And suddenly the feelings and thoughts of fear erupt at the same time. And I do believe that social media and the news channels, which is the normal media, actually multiply things to the sense that obviously we have no other means of communication during a war. And when Pakistan decided finally to retaliate on the 10th, which was Saturday, early morning, and my God, it was something tremendous that had been invented, should I say, by the armed forces of Pakistan. Because for the first time, it's actually a deep study now um, in war studies, because Pakistan responded with a cyber attack in which they actually jammed the communication systems of India and also the radar systems while they fired a barrage of missiles on 26 sites in India, which included not only their air bases, all of them virtually deep down into the heart of India in Gujarat, which was the Prime Minister's state. But actually, like I was surprised when I got the briefings and the debriefings later, what all we heard. It's something that you see, like China's, for example, the jet aircraft were not considered much to be in comparison with the Western aircraft, but the shares of the J7 Thunder that we acquired, in fact, built along with China. Pakistan and China collaborated on that. But what is absolutely amazing is, yes, what you said about the media, it's the propaganda, but this is a new kind of a warfare which we must think about, where the youth of Pakistan were actually employed along with the armed forces. Now, the youth is my students, I would say, were employed to actually jam, to use cyber warfare to jam everything in India so that their communication, they could not communicate between themselves. And that is why Trump came in suddenly as the US president, because he got the message as to what was happening. And it was a message of fear. So that's the feeling that goes all around very suddenly. So you can imagine the whole scenario, how it ended so quickly. Lucky for us, I guess, for all of us in the subcontinent, because I read about this nuclear warfare. My God, it's if you read about what can happen, there was a 2019 study and another study in 2005 on a nuclear conflict between India and Pakistan. And apparently, for something like 10 years, there'll be night. Millions will be killed, of course, but the very thoughts, bring about feelings of fear as to what mankind can actually do in the world, instead of bringing about peace and harmony and tranquility amongst. This world doesn't just belong to humans; it belongs to, as Tracy has just mentioned, plants also. You see, I mean, I talk to my plants, and they actually seem to grow better. So it's also animals. It's fish. It's everything that's around us. They have a right to live. We've got to think more in terms of peace and friendship between each other and between everybody in the world, and try and calm things down so that people can talk more freely. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I apologize for interruption, Michael.
It's fine, Mariana.
What
Yes.
was the question? Why governments use fear? Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize. I really understand what Dr. Arshad just said. It's a mixture of feelings. When you are everything is fresh. And when you are in the middle of these circumstances, you cannot think completely logically. It is almost impossible. After some time, you can think about it, and then that is the time when you can think about roots, why something happened or why something is happening. So I would like to answer the question because I was thinking about it for years. In the essence, it is the easiest way to rule and to show power and get interests on highest level. That is my answer on your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mariana. You know, all of us here know that last year was elected is probably not the right word, but the new Pope, Leo the 14th. You know, and so even in Czech Republic, where we do not, we are not religious, so majority of people is not. So everybody, it was in TV and media and so on, waiting for the white smoke. You know what was interesting? That I don't know whether you have read about his first speech to his cardinals, which was before the first public speech. You know, he spoke about new industrial revolution. He spoke about the need of having one language, the need for human interaction. It was so interesting. He did not use the term Industry 5.0, but I feel he is speaking our language, which we are talking in here. And it was so interesting. And it was one of the feelings which, you know, it's quite interesting because the feelings are not, let's say, frequently can be connected with tears. But it is interesting that tears can come when you are very happy, and it can come when you are very unhappy. And I have read a study because, you know, when my grandma passed away, then my granddad stopped to cry. He said to me later, because he was living for another 11 years, he said, with the day, my tears disappear. And he really don't have tears. He has to use the drops for the eyes. And frequently I put it there because otherwise the eye will be damaged. And I was thinking right now when listening to you and to Dr. Ash and remembering when I heard the Pope to speak about something which I do for 12 years, I was thinking, you know, what is this feeling? But then I read some time ago about tears, and it was very interesting reading because, you know, if your body gets frozen, the eyes are the only part of the body which is not frozen because it's very high salinity there. And these researchers tested and analyzed tears when they came tears of happiness and tears of unhappiness or fear. They found out they are different. They found out that there is a different chemical whatever. So they are different, let's call it so. And it was so interesting for me, you know, and I think there are feelings are connected with many things. And I'm so happy that Mariana stepped in and answered the question because many people are being killed without a single one say why they have to be killed, why there is the war, what is the true reason. This is why the media are serving so much information and frequently so negative information, because a negative information wake more negative feelings, and you will be angry. You would like to kill the others or whatever, harm. But I think it's time to change it. And I think our talks are here to do that. You know, we are speaking here to each other. Unfortunately, Anton cannot be there because he cannot, for whatever reason, get into the Zoom. He can only other media, but Zoom is blocked somehow. I have the same before. And you remember Pramila? It's quite interesting. Pramila is in Czech Republic, and so I hand over greetings from Pramila to all of you. And this is the reason why she cannot be here. And you see, in 1 minute, I switch from, let's say, sad feelings to happy feelings. And this is what we can do. So if there is a negative one, we can turn it into a positive one. Not to obey the media and let's call them the decision makers or the giants. We can go against them without breaking the law. We are right now, all of us, we do not break the law here. We just talk. And because I like every time someone ended this discussion, and Tracy, for a long time, we did not have a Chinese proverb. Can you deliver one to us?
I wanted to say that oftentimes we advocate that follow our hearts, but honestly, most of the time we really have to follow our mind, because the feelings can misguide us in many situations for the bigger things. For example, war or peace. We really have to follow our minds, not the heart, because emotions, feelings could get in the way of judgment. So I like to say, in Chinese, we do have words like, do not let your feelings tangle your mind. Thank you, Michael, everyone.
Thank you very much. You know, it's so fascinating. We are talking together for almost 3 years. It's so unbelievable that every single week we meet, we talk, we find, and we are deeper in a conversation, which, at least for me, it means, wow, I have a lot of to think for the next week. Because all the time I remember, and in our conversations, I do remember the last one and the one before, and the one before is just a moment which came, bring the feelings to me, and I said to me, okay, we talk about it. Let's think about it. So we have 1 minute 30 to the end. And I would like to thank you all. It was once again a great to be with the family, united in harmony for one goal. And it's the same for all of us. Because it's the word which I call the wasteless word, because it's peaceful. It's free of stress. It's the world in which humans and nature and planet, all of us live together with the right vibrations, as Leslie mentioned, because I think the vibrations, even the language is vibration. So everything what we do. And if we can communicate with vibration, with the planet and the universe, we are on the right place. So thank you very much. Have a nice time, free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe, be free, be human, and enjoy your emotion. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Thank you, Michael. You
Thank you,
always
Michael. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
You
Bye-bye.
always
Thank you.
create all preconditions for
Yes.
this kind of discussion in harmony. Thank you, Michael, for it.
Yes. And thank you, Leslie, for supporting my posts. Thank you, everyone. Have afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.